Hi guys. I was just really bored tonight, so I thought I'd read you guys some more stories out of my Dreams and Miracles book. Get on the fine spectacles here. And get all fancy, smart looking here for y'all. What are you laughing at over there? You trying to say I don't look highly intelligent? What are you talking about, Dottie?
You said it.
You need spectacles. This story is called Please Hurry, I'm Hurt. And all these stories are true, remember. And this one is by Rose Lear. And we're going to start off by reading the introduction. Rose makes her home in White Bluff, Tennessee. When her 18-year-old son didn't come home one night, she knew something was wrong. The next night, there was still no sign of Justin, despite a prolonged search. God, she prayed, please don't take my baby. If you need someone, take me. Now we'll get into the story. My son did not come home that foggy night. Justin, almost 18, had gone out in his car with a friend on that Friday evening, August 6, 1993. At first, I hadn't worried. He was a good boy, a careful driver, and always dependable. He knew he had to be up early Saturday morning for his summer job, cleaning pools. I went to bed thinking I'd hear Justin arrive home any minute. As always, I prayed for him, his 20-year-old brother Strider, and my older sister Mary Beth, who lives with us. I awoke Saturday morning with a start. Justin! I hadn't heard him come in. Heart pounding, I jumped out of bed and checked his room. Then I rushed into the kitchen where Mary Beth was making coffee. Justin didn't come home, I announced. The percolator trembled in Mary Beth's hand. She loved her nephews dearly. Where do you suppose he is? I don't know. He always calls, even if he's delayed a short time. Maybe he stayed over at a friend's house, Mary Beth suggested. I hurried to the phone on the desk in the kitchen. No, said his friend. Justin had dropped him off last night and headed home to White Bluff from Nashville. That was only about a 20-minute drive from his house. I started calling everyone he knew, including his high school football teammates. Fall practice was starting Monday, and that was all Justin had talked about recently. As I dialed number after number, I kept glancing out the window, expecting his car to come up the drive. I longed to see his golden retriever, Hunter, bound up to him, to hear Justin explain, "Hi, Mom, I'm sorry, I forgot to call you." I slumped back after speaking with the last of his friends. No one knew anything. The thoughts I'd been pushing away finally broke through. He's lying dead somewhere. Someone's hijacked his car. He's been kidnapped. I dialed our pastor, Mark Hanna, of Harpeth Heights Baptist Church, who said he'd get a prayer chain going immediately. Then I dialed the Dixon County Sheriff's Department. 2 deputies came right out. He's a little more than 6 feet tall, brown hair, brown eyes, 225 pounds, I told them. A big guy, plays football. How could I describe his smile that lighted up a room? His wonderful sense of humor. Car? A blue 1980 MGB convertible. They wouldn't be interested in knowing that the car was both a birthday and early graduation present, or how proud he was of it. As the older deputy wrote down the information, he commented on the unusually heavy fog of the night before. Then as they turned to leave, he patted my shoulder. "We'll do our best to find him, ma'am." Mary Beth brought me a cup of coffee. "Now don't give up, Rose," she urged. "We're going to find him." I smiled wearily. That was Mary Beth, always trying to be optimistic. But not Strider. He was beside himself with worry. "I can't just sit here, Mom," he said. Instead of going to work, he drove off to look for his brother. Mary Beth went with him. I sat at the desk staring at the phone. It rang over and over, but it was our pastor reporting that the entire congregation was praying. Then concerned friends called asking what they could do to help. I laid my head on my arms. I was divorced from Justin's father. My boys meant everything to me. "God," I prayed, "please don't take my baby. If you need someone, take me." I felt a touch on my shoulder. It was Mary Beth. She was back from the search. At my pleading look, she shook her head, but tried to cheer me. "Rose," she said, "I just know Justin will be all right." She picked up AJ, our cat, who had been pacing around my chair, and cradled her in her arms. "God has his eye on Justin," she said. I gratefully squeezed her hand, but wished I could be as certain. All the rest of the day, the phone kept ringing. The sheriff's office reported the authorities in 2 counties were combing the area, checking every route Justin might have taken, and that the Tennessee office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation had been notified. Strider went out again to search. It seemed Justin had vanished from the earth. Mary Beth and I sat up long past midnight, praying and dozing fitfully. About 5:30 a.m. I awoke up and opened my eyes to find her sitting bolt upright in a chair. "Rose," she said, "a verse, Matthew 7:7, has come to me. Ask, and it will be given you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be open to you." That means we can't give up. We have to keep praying. Finally, in utter exhaustion, we both went to bed to try to get some sleep. I awoke to sunlight flooding the room and went downstairs to resume my vigil. I sat looking at family pictures. There was Justin as a toddler, holding a football. Next to that was a photo of Justin as a first grader, who stroked my face and told me I had the prettiest mommy. I couldn't hold back the tears. I heard a step on the stairs and looked up. Mary Beth stood there, a strange expression on her face. "Rose, I know you're going to think I'm crazy," she said, "but I know where Justin is." I stared at her. What on earth was she talking about? She sat down across from me. "Justin came to me in a dream," she said. "I could hear him calling to me. It was so plain and clear. He told me where he was. He said, 'I can't move and I need help. Come and get me. I'm between Highway 100 and the railroad tracks. Please hurry. I'm hurt.'" Her voice was quivering. I told him we'd be right there. Strider, who overheard us, rushed into the room. "I know just where that spot is, on Old Harding Road." I looked at the two of them numbly. Both were clearly exhausted and willing to grasp at anything. "If it will make you feel better, Mary Beth," I said wearily, "you and Strider go look. I'll stay here by the phone." After they left, the minutes ticked by. I could only stare at my son's picture in his football uniform, wondering if I'd ever see his number 61 on the field again. The phone rang. I barely had the strength to pick up the receiver. "Rose?" It was Mary Beth, almost shouting with excitement. "Rose, we found him!" I listened in stunned disbelief as Mary Beth continued breathlessly. "Justin was exactly where he told me he was in my dream, between Highway 100 and the railroad tracks. In the fog, his car went off the curve there and down the steep embankment into a ravine. It was impossible to see him from the highway. He was unconscious, and paramedics took him to Baptist Hospital in Nashville." I hurried to Justin's bedside. He had been wearing his seatbelt, but the impact of the accident had thrown him out of the car. He was in a coma, badly scorched from lying unconscious in the sun all Saturday. The doctor said he would have lived only hours if he hadn't been found. Even so, they gave little hope for his recovery. For 5 days I sat by Justin's bedside praying, and he remained in a coma. His friends and teammates came in to cheer him on, hold his hand and pray for him. And then on the 6th day he finally opened his eyes. I leaned close to hear his first precious words, and when they came, I had to smile. "I'm hungry," he said. "What can I get you?" "2 big fat chili dogs." I almost laughed out loud. I knew then that my son would recover. After months of therapy, Justin was back in high school in January 1994. He remembers nothing about that terrible night, only that the fog suddenly became so thick he couldn't see. But all of us who prayed for Justin believed that God allowed that dream to come to Mary Beth, who so implicitly believed in the promise, "Ask, and it will be given you, and seek, and you will find." And that's the end of the story. Please hurry, I'm hurt, by Rose Lear. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Hope you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.